Hello. One time I woke up, it was early in the morning. I felt tired. I felt overwhelmed. I felt, I couldn't do anything for myself. But then, why am I bringing this scenario? It's just because I'm trying to show you the one skill that school doesn't really teach us. But then, school teaches us mathematics, school teaches us history, we learn lots of things at school, but then they forget to teach us one skill, and that is emotional intelligence. They don't teach us on how to handle our stress, on how to control our emotions. They don't teach us on how to handle rejection. They really teach us lots of things. I wouldn't say they are bad, but then school doesn't teach us on how to go by what real life throws back to us. Because I believe that, we have all at least had this one scenario where you really feel, what am I going to do today about this? And of course, where does the emotional intelligence come in here? Emotional intelligence, first of all, of course, it doesn't solve our problems. No, it can never solve your problems. But then it's a tool that helps you to handle your problems. Or it's a tool that helps you to handle stress. So what do we learn at school that is so different from what real life tests us on? At school, we learn ability to reason, ability to solve logic problems. This stays the same for a long period of time or for the rest of your life. Like, what school gives you is always the same thing. But then what emotional intelligence gives you, it can never be the same, because every time when you learn how to handle your problems, when you learn how to handle your stress, then you can improve your life. One time, a friend of mine called me, and this person was telling me, you know what, Joella, I'm really very stressed. What can I do about this? And then me as a person, of course, we all know that we as human beings, we have to judge, because when someone tells you something, you'll be like, why is this happening to this particular person? But then where emotional intelligence comes in is when you think twice and you put yourself in that particular person's shoe. Or when you're going through a lot, let me say maybe someone is going through a lot of stress, or someone has a lot of stress, and then you put yourself in that person's shoe. You be like, what if it was me? What would I do about this? So members, we should learn how to handle our stress. And how are we going to learn how to handle these things that life is throwing back to us? Because I believe that at least all of us, we have situations that throw or put us really down. But then how can you handle these situations? And our number one way that I would encourage all of us to handle these particular problems, or this particular, like maybe stress, rejection, self-awareness. Be able to notice your emotions before they explode. Guys, this is one of the ways that we can manage stress. Because let me tell you, people nowadays are dying inside. Yes, we see smiles, of course. You can see me smiling. But then inside me, what is really hurting me or killing me? And this is where emotional intelligence comes in. So of course, just like I've told you, self-awareness, you should notice your emotions before they explode. And then our number 2 is self-control. Self-control. This will always help us to choose responses. For example, maybe someone has annoyed you. How do you respond, or how do you react? Are you going to just beat up this person? Are you going to shout at this person? No, that's not the way life is. So we should learn how to control ourselves. Remember, you should also learn how to know yourself, yeah. Know how your emotions drive you. You should also know how to reduce social stress. Yeah, reducing social stress. What do I mean here? Put yourself in someone's shoe, like socially, okay? Because we all know that we are in a world where we meet different people, like very many different people. But of course, we need to know how to deal with this. Because yeah, you might have a master's degree, you might be highly educated, but then you might be living a life full of stress, a life that is overwhelmed. Yeah, so we should know that in all the things that we study at school, emotional intelligence should be key. And of course, you can't learn it from school, but then you should just know how to deal with your emotions. Sometimes you can be really, really very stressed and you just feel like you want to give up, you're losing it all. But then remember that the moment you get to know how to handle everything as a person, then life becomes more easier. Just like I told you before, emotional intelligence can never solve our problems, but then it's a tool that is going to help us notice the way to live or the way to react. Hope someone is understanding. I want us to be at the same pace here, because I have gone through times when I really feel I'm like, oh, what should I do here? But then sometimes the way I react to things might be different from the way you react to things. But then you should know that you should always react to things in a way that you also know that if you were in someone's shoes, you would really achieve maybe your goals. Yeah. Imagine a student who is at school, maybe a university student who is at school. There is no tuition, maybe your parents are sick. So if I'm imagining this, I put myself in this person's shoes and I'm like, okay, so how is this person going to handle this stress? But then this person has to have the ability to identify and manage emotions. Because trust me, panic attack is real. Guys, it is real. Yeah, it might be very hard. Sometimes it might feel really hard or too hard to deal with some things. But then remember that the way you react to how things are in your life, that's how the universe takes it to be. I believe and I know that life will always test us. But then when you have this emotional intelligence, trust me guys, you can always survive, you can always grow and make it in life. You should start seeing challenges differently. Yeah, because you might be going through something, but then some other person somewhere is going through something that is too much, that if you're to be put in this person's shoes, you can't really manage. Life will always prepare lots of challenges. Yeah, but then remember that all we need is how to know how to handle these challenges. Just like I told you guys, at school we learn how to solve for X in algebra, we learn we learn history, we learn lots of things, but then this one skill, we don't get it at school, or we are not taught about it at school. So you should know that all we need to learn how to handle the challenges that are going to come our way. Because I can't tell you that life is going to be smooth. No, it will not. Trust me, it cannot. But then how you handle it is what matters here. As a student, as maybe a married couple, as maybe someone who is trying to grow, all you need to learn how to live with people around you. Trust me, not everyone is perfect. Not everyone will want to be like you. But then you need to know how to live around people. You need to know how to handle lots of things that are going to come your way. You might get a rejection. You might get stressed. You might get tired. But then how to handle this is what matters, guys. Let's not be highly educated people who are stressed because maybe your boss is unfair. But then this is what school actually teaches us. It teaches us after school, you're going to graduate. After that, you're going to have a job, which is okay. Yeah, it's okay. But then you have a job and your boss is unfair. So how are you going to deal with this unfair boss? Hope you guys are trying to get what I'm talking about here. How are you going to deal with these colleagues at work who aren't agreeing with what you're telling them to do? So this is where intelligence comes in. Because trust me, at school, they will never tell you that if your boss doesn't pay you, you have to do this and that. But then it comes from you, inside you, and then you're like, okay, since I'm not paid, what am I going to do here? Oh, just like I gave you the other scenario of a student who has no tuition. How are you going to handle it? You as a person, are you going to hate yourself? No, that's not how life works. Yeah. So dear ones, I love you so much. And of course, you know that I want us to grow together, regardless of the challenges that are going to come your way. Because trust me, even if you're rich, at least you'll have challenges. But how to handle these challenges is what matters. As a student, how to handle your education is what matters. Because sometimes you're going to have maybe teammates who are not really willing to study. What will you do as a student? Will you hate them? No, that's not how life is. We all need each other around us. Or a failed relationship, or a failed friendship. How will you handle it? So all you need to know is you need to know yourself. That is self-awareness. Know yourself better. Know how to control your emotions. Know how to handle problems that come your way. Know how to deal with people. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Do not forget to share. I want us to unfold all these real life challenges together. I want us to grow together. See you. Bye.